Welcome to another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmett. I am going to dare to answer a question that I saw in the comments. The comments were under a video about Jamie Foxx and SACRIFICED. Okay. About him being removed and about him being sacrificed, if you know that kind of about that kind of thing, or if you're awake enough to know that it's true. Someone said, why do Black Americans always get sacrificed? Well, I'm gonna dare. I have answered this before in a few videos. I put together some videos. And I guess I will put the link if you want to listen to those. Excuse me, you have to have a lot of patience to listen to it. Anyway, I'm going to try to answer it. And it's difficult to answer because I'm going to be telling you direct information that you likely do not know about, and it's hard for you to swallow. The other videos, I just propose questions to you so that you could understand how the truth comes out. Like if somebody tells you the truth directly, usually you don't get it. You have to figure it out yourself. And the only way to do that is by experience or someone giving you deductive questions to answer. And if you allowed your brain to work a little bit, you would see the logic in the truth. So anyway, I just have to tell you directly. Why are Black Americans being sacrificed? Well, because Black Americans are a compilation and mixture of other indigenous people. Not every single Black American is. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm going to stand with what I said. Black Americans are a compilation and mixture, an admixture of other melanated people, possibly Caucasian, but that would show up in your phenotype and it would show outwardly. It would be expressed outwardly if you were mixed with a Caucasian person. The Caucasian person, okay, now I'm gonna have to just jump around. Point number one, the Caucasian person is a hybrid. And all you have to do, a hybrid is a GMO. And a GMO is the same as, the concept of a GMO is the same as the food you eat. The fruit, the vegetables. It is not real anymore. It does not have the immortal seed anymore. That is what the Caucasian person is. They never had the immortal seed. They're not reproduced by nature. Only nature can reproduce nature. When you mess up the seed, you've messed up the natural order. You messed up the nature of the plant. It cannot reproduce itself anymore. It is not immortal. It doesn't have the magic, so to speak. I'm going to use the word magic, that allows it to progenerate until infinity. You have a real apple tree, it's going to multiply until into infinity. It's going to multiply forever. You can never stop it. It's unstoppable. Because one apple tree can repopulate the entire earth. One apple can repopulate an entire orchard field. So it's just exponential multiplication. So what does that mean for a human? It means that you are immortal and that your life cycle, when you go through the transition of being out of the body, you can come back again. That's what it means. It means your energy doesn't dissipate or disappear. It resides as a light body, not the physical anymore. Well, let's say on the lowest frequency, the first manifestation of density is light. So on the earth plane, you are a light body. So, and that actually is a star. That's what the stars are. They're souls of previous people. So, let's just put that point down. The Caucasian is a hybrid that it's not immortal. It's missing the soul, which is a light. Soul, S-O-U-L, is actually S-O-L, which is actually the sun. It's missing the sun inside. The seed of the sun, meaning S-U-N. Okay. So let's jump back to Black, Indigenous American people. They are a mixture of other melanated people, possibly from Africa, possibly the tribes within America, because you got mixed. Right now you are not around your own. Right now, you cannot go to a town and say, oh, all my relatives live there. Some people can. There's always exceptions, but most Black Americans cannot go to a certain place or land and say, oh, these are all my people and they look like me. And I'm not talking about in the general sense. I'm talking about very specifically, they look like me, like you look like twins of each other. That's how real tribes are. They look very, very similar to each other. Americans are not like that at all. So they have a mixed, melanated bloodline. And it also includes people from ancient times of Egypt. All right, just point blank, that's the facts. Now, melanated people, another point is that melanated people are the original people of the entire planet. Another point is that they have the God energy in them. Now you can take that, I'm saying that in a very general, soft way, but the truth of the matter is, if somebody has the God energy, are they a God? Yes, The dilemma is that you have forgotten that you are a God. And the dilemma is that mostly it's that you've forgotten that you're a God. You've forgotten you don't have access mentally to the powers that you have inside of you. It is the same as the story of any superhero. They fell into learning about their superpowers. They didn't know that they had superpowers. And then one day it came out. That is what the Black American is. Now, melanated people have an enemy. And that enemy is the person that has raped, robbed, pillaged, sodomized, burned down, lynched, baited you for alligators, whipped you, emotionally, physically, psychologically, and mentally and financially to this very day. Not only have they done that to you, obviously we're talking about all melanated people, but mostly the Black American. Because the Black American has the mixed bloodline, which makes that person have the strongest spiritual DNA. That's my view of it. You have the strongest spiritual DNA. And you are the only one that has privy and opportunity and the mind to be able to know what I'm saying right now to you, which is a big secret known by white people, written by white people, put in books of scholarship by white people. They know your origin. They know the origin of the planet. They know that the concept of gods is something that is real and was real, and that you are the remnant of that. And if you ever knew, it's like, well, if you ever knew, what would you do? If you woke up to your power, but also woke up to the fact that you have a serious enemy that you have to destroy, well, that would turn the tables. However, you have been brainwashed, mind controlled, brutalized for so many generations that your own generations brutalize you, put you down, etc. And the whole world is negative toward you. That it's hard to combat the law of attraction where the greater mass rules. The person with the greater mass of energy rules. And the mob thinking rules. Even if they know, okay, so-called Adam and Eve are black. Nobody gives a damn about that. You ain't talking about anything. No, there's no preacher talking about that in church. They are talking anything negative against you, never for you. So, only the Black American can wake up to that knowledge. They can break out of their coma. And it's easier for them to break out of their coma because they have less of a financial struggle compared to most melanated people on the planet. So, that's pretty much it. I mean, I've just said it like it is. You can rewind it, listen to it again. The people that run the world and the people who are your everyday neighbor are part of that system that runs the world and keeps melanated people disenfranchised. They know the secret about you, and they don't ever want you to wake up to know that you have powers of destruction just by your thought. You have the superhero powers of destruction by your thought. If you only woke up to that. Now, for some silly person that's going to say, oh, well, you can't, you're going to send laser beams out of your eyes. You could. However, you're not at that level to believe that you could. That is the whole thing. You're not at that level to believe that you could. However, you only need to be at the level of knowing that somebody's your enemy and that you are a god. Because everything else is spiritual and it's going to activate. It's going to activate within you. And it's going to activate among the masses of melanated people. And that is why anything that is standing up for black people, promoting black people, believing in black people, saying that, hey, there's some effery going on here, it gets removed. Now, do I need to remind you of the most recent black person that tried to stand up and say, hey, the peanut butter and jelly gang happened to be the lawyers, the bankers, and the Hollywooders, and the government? What happened to Kanye West? What happened to Kanye West? He was standing up and becoming an awakened melanated person. What happened to Kanye West? They did MK Ultra on him and squashed his spirit. They squashed his spirit. So he's not gonna. Nobody's even asking anything of Kanye anymore. So I still haven't really answered. Well, there's a part 2 to answering your question. And we're going to put it in part 2. Part 2 is really, well, actually, this already answers it. You have to, it's like two kings feuding, and one king has to kill the future offspring of the other king so he won't have an heir. That's what it's all about. You are the heir. You, melanated person, you are the heir of the earth. Your entire body is even made of all the elements of the earth. And right now, I'm going to put a close to this topic. I may try to say something in a part 2, but the part 2 is going to just be so out of this world. You just have to be on a Bobby Hemmett frequency to get it. And it has to do with consuming your melanin, eating it, drinking it, injecting it, so that energy gives a temporary boost to a GMO that is a decaying, vapid, soulless entity. So that ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmett. May you increase in consciousness. You will increase in consciousness on whatever level you are at. And those of you on 1,000-watt Bobby Hemmett frequency, you will increase in your powers of destruction. And may we all agree that this world is finished. You're done with it because you're the God. You made it. Okay, we're going to get rid of this place. It's by necessity to get rid of the beast. You're immortal. You'll always be here. The only way to it's like having to burn down, and I should put this in the video, burn down a barn to get rid of the rat invasion. The end.